American tournaments, just like the European team's going to win it. I'm right there for you. Zoot, introduce Sacrifice to us in 140 characters or less.
I'll do my very best. Both teams are playing it for the soul that spawns 20 seconds into the game. Bring it over to the obelisk and hold it for 2.5 minutes, and you will win a round. Win 2, and you win the map.
Perfectly done. All right, here we go. Underway with two teams starting to pick up a handful of frags, and it will be Silencep and Xron going to eat away at those Team Liquid players. And here we go as Team Liquid will move through and collect that soul.
I love how it is already. He passed that soul to the faster champion, Latrommi, with the Anarchy being able to swiftly move over to that obelisk. Also to note, Galena, we have not seen used at all at the regionals whatsoever. Xron has picked up that champion and is using it against what is quite a squishy lineup that Team Liquid is using.
Rapha here going to get himself an easy pick onto clawz there, and then we'll go hunting for more as he lines up Silencep and will, in the end, get down himself. And that quad sometimes a bit of a devil and a curse, or a gift and a curse at the early stages.
No, indeed. You might find that people are focusing on the soul a lot more at the beginning, and 45 seconds into the game, that quad will spawn. The objective is going to be the main focus, but when protection spawns at the second time round, 2:45 in, people are really going to be paying a lot of attention to that, because that can be a game changer. Quad right in front though, clawz managing to get it on his hands a bit, and it's slowly ticking upwards, 25% already for 2Z. This seems like a nice start that they'll happily welcome.
Yeah, they are picking up frag after frag. clawz is patrolling on top of that obelisk right now, looking down towards, who is that down there, as he will get picked up by rapha, who will be able to escape and push back Latrommi as well. Nice play, Latrommi trying to get himself involved, and to 32-0 though, as the soul is about to get picked up.
I like how we're seeing the 2Z guys defending from the outside of the base rather deep inside, so it means it's blocking off any of the choke points where they need to throw that soul. But it does look like, I think DaHanG managed to grab the soul for a moment. We've got rapha chasing nearby, and that is actually going to be Silencep who manages to grab it with the soul like briefly, passing it around, trying to get the pummels going. clawz trying to get some of the action on Slash as well, but an absolute, well, just a huge carnage going on the outside of base B.
Yeah, so that's picked up 2 frags in the end before going down to rapha, who himself helps himself to a double. And now you will see clawz on soul before getting destroyed by, I think it was DaHanG coming from behind.
Yeah, rapha now, he's got 10 seconds until that power-up's going to be up. It is going to be protection. We expect this to be heavily contested. rapha sitting and waiting there. I'm wondering, where on earth have all the players from 2Z gone? It seems like their focus is elsewhere. 79 health, that reduces the damage taken by, well, by 4. And he's trying to get something going. They finally got it onto their point A. Not too much damage. The focus from 2Z has not been great. And at last, rapha re-secures the base and is now trying to push back all those 2Z players.
Yeah, he's done an excellent job of this. It's still going with still over like 50 health now as he pushes in. For all that damage taken, he is on form. And we talk about the protection, and it is just so powerful. It is the item to take, and from there, a player like rapha with it can just change the game. And you can see that Team Liquid managed to rack up, almost tying this map up.
And also with the small champion having protection, you can have less health and be able to defend yourself a lot again. And you hit the nail on the head with rapha. You do not want to be giving him power-ups if you're the enemy team. You definitely want to control that very, very carefully. Looks like Latrommi's managed to grab the soul, but isn't able to take it very far out the base. Support, though, comes from Silencep. We got clawz alongside him with the plasma trail, and he's looking to bring it back. That rocket jump, not too bad, but he's a couple of slips, but it'll do just fine. Now the teammates need to come back and support him.
Yeah, Silencep with the run now, chasing out with his rocket, trying to finish off one of those incoming players. It was wins. Frenchman will hit the deck as Silencep now goes in looking for more. He's got another frag lined up. No! DaHanG will eventually pick up that frag. And we're on board with Latrommi, who helps himself as well to the frag of D. And, well, that obelisk is racking up in favor of 2Z right now.
I'm trying to understand how Xron's going to be playing Galena, because very interesting. You've got the totems. They can either heal a teammate for 50 health, or they can do 75 damage to an opponent, but they can blow it up. So you want to put it in strategic places. And it's going to be interesting to know where is that extra damage and healing coming from later on. So definitely something for everyone to keep their eyes open for.
Silencep looking to defend that obelisk, and they got up to 65% and counting here as 2Z are holding in. Quad goes up and is collected, and away will go. She gets dropped down. It was Xron, I think, who had it before DaHanG picks him off, and now who has claimed it for them. clawz, frag after frag, DaHanG and rapha going down, and God, it is carnage out there.
Oh, Xron's managed to find it straight up, and clawz cleared a lot of the players in that part of the base. And that is going to be Xron here. He's putting the totem right behind, so that means they can't see that totem when they're moving into the base. So they can try and clear it by sending a rocket behind, just in case the totem happens to be there. But if they attack it without thinking, they could just suffer 75 damage really easily.
And here we go, Xron going to look to clean out with only 9% left for this 2Z side to finish off playing this win. rapha goes down, and Xron has been able to absolutely decimate players coming through, and he has just played the middle area and stopped anyone going through. Up to 99%, there it will go, and it should be a 2Z win.
So it looked a little bit difficult at points when, even though 2Z first got the control of Obelisk B, Team Liquid did have a really good run of it, taking it back to themselves, but it seems after a while 2Z, I don't know, the nerves, they fell and everything went back to how we expect. I did say earlier on the desk that I feel that maybe it's not so secure for 2Z to get this win after Team Liquid's been playing, but right now this bodes very, very well for the 2Z team. Let's catch up here in round 2 though.
What can Team Liquid do differently on the second match?
Well, they're going to have to frag a lot harder. You've got some of the most talented aimers in the world on 2Z team, and it's something that a lot of teams and I think a lot of spectators underestimate them since they're not the most famous players in the world at all. So we're going to have to see the aim game on, and we're going to have to see the coordinated rushes. What 2Z likes to do, if they have to attack, they'll try and get one pick off, and as soon as that happens, that is the mark for everyone to go in. So we need to see some quick retaliations, I believe, from Team Liquid.
All right, well, away we go. Looking good, and Xron going to help himself, but that's going to be avenged in the end before Latrommi comes in. And we're just trading frags before that quad is picked up. clawz had it momentarily before DaHanG will pick him off. And
still there,
Team Liquid, though, still do have that Obelisk under control, and up to 25% now. And yeah, this is much the start they will want. It will have calmed any concerns they had as they push through, but Soul has now been retaken.
Oh, that damage from clawz. 1 HP over here for ID. Can not quite get the last damage, and we've got the 225 bubbles that he can take to heal himself up a little bit. And we saw the beginning really was just a kind of a game of chicken to see who was even going to go for that power up, while everyone else plays over by the Soul.
Soul is on the ground for the ID, going for it right now, and he's got a whole wealth of incoming 2Z players, as it will be. A frag coming in from Latrommi, who gets it, but he won't be up for long. Oh, he will! 2 quick frags for him, and he is away with the Soul in his backpack as he looks to try and make his way down towards the Obelisk and set this up for the first points on the board for 2Z.
That's it. Now looking to see if they can get that second round up. Plenty of time to go, and he's just going to be spraying that acid on the floor, so anyone walks on it, they're going to be taking some damage over time. And that's 10 damage every second for about 5 seconds, in fact. There we've got a good attack coming in from Team Liquid. Are they going to be able to bring it out the base? Because we've already noticed that 2Z love to defend from the outside. You can take the Soul if you like, but the trouble is escaping.
They've done a good job of that. The Soul will go down, and let's see. It was momentarily with clawz, but he will be picked off. Now collected by clawz once again as he escapes. Has 2 players covering his back as well. Here we go. clawz will run it home, and quickly up to 10% goes that Obelisk, and clawz can now get on the defensive as he looks to incoming Team Liquid players who are scratching him right now. And couldn't quite get enough help for himself there as reinforcements eventually make their way in.
clawz coming out again, does get a direct rock. I think they rocketed each other directly just then. DaHanG does manage to spot that totem on the teleporter exit a little too soon. Quad coming up once again. And someone grab it, please, finally. I think somebody took it. I believe that was Wins who got hold of it. There is Plendenix trying to do some damage. He's going to kill himself for a teammate, but an opponent just ran in at the same time. You can't use a bind to do that. You've got to go onto on the menu to kill yourself. And they're suffering. ID hasn't got much health. Are they even going to be able to attack the objective?
He's going to make his way in. He is covered by 2 players. I think more than anything, he just wants to run that quad down rather than sit another player's hand, because he didn't have the help to really contest. And in the end, they've been able to pick up 1, 2, 3 frags going in here, and now they'll try to move in.
Passed across. There's DaHanG. Going to be trying to slide a little bit. Silencep trying to slow things down. And there's going to be the pummel from clawz just sliding right into him. And I know that he's been working on those pummel moves quite a lot lately, so working fantastically for him.
There we go, moving away, you will see 2Z now to some almost 60% on that obelisk, as Team Liquid's attacks just aren't working for them. And you lost much of what you said about, oh, big pick coming in there, and it will be clawz onto DaHanG, and defending that obelisk so resolutely at the moment. Team Liquid can't get close.
I know that 2Z have actually been saying last night, in fact, that actually people underestimate the Tri-Bolt a lot. They said it's a fantastic defensive weapon, and I think we're seeing some examples of that right now. clawz coming close, striking fear into his opponent's eyes with the pummel as he slides towards them. Slash being one of the fastest champions in the pool champions that we have. ID very weak, and I think I just spotted that. Yeah, rapha moving past. Getting those health bubbles would help a lot, but that rail comes across doing 80 damage, and of course only 75. Anarchy, a very weak champion, especially with no armor.
Perfectly timed rail there waiting for rapha as he came around that corner. On board with clawz, 45 points of health, drops down at obelisk, come up to 82%, and this really is looking, barring something special from Team Liquid, to be a 2Z2-0 as they push forward now, and they're going to go in again, and that obelisk is under very little threat. But now is there an opportunity here as DaHanG charges through, gets himself the first frag, and the obelisk is away, and DaHanG will move into the protecting role as that soul is tossed across the clawz.
Well, he just passed it to a teammate. Now he's passing it the other side of the acid, and they're trying to stick them in a choke point here where they can't get out. All of a sudden, the 2Z players have just locked them down completely. Are they going to be able to bring it back at all? I think there is Team Liquid just managed to grab it and are finally going to get a few more percent on the board. It's just a question now, how quick are 2Z going to come back? Look at this.
Gets picked off trying to defend.
Soul lost.
And now you will see the soul in the hands of clawz as he will ride the rockets, and in the end ride them too hard, as it'll be D who gets that frag, and the soul now picked up by Xron. Xron taking a lot of damage, goes in the rocket training, and he does have some reinforcement, tosses that soul out, and will be taken away.
I think it was Latrommi that just managed to grab it and take it back to the base. Excellent coordination that we're seeing from 2Z at the moment. The speed, the pace that they're bringing does not seem to be matched at the moment by Team Liquid. There's only 2% more that they need. Team Liquid really on their last legs at the moment. They have got to bring it back, and they've got to get out of the base, and I can see the 2Z guys starting to pile up.
Wins finds himself with...
He just passed it to the opponent.
Well, whoever said the French would surrender, but he did. I think he got there. I'm not sure whether he was expecting someone else to come in there, but there it is.
That's it.
100% is up, and that will be 2Z 2-0.
Now, they didn't make that look very difficult, Stuart. That was quite quick there from the 2Z players. There seemed to be a lot of struggling. I feel like the coordination that we've got between the 2Z guys, I can see Xron just in the corner, just smiling, laughing all the time, it seems, which is just exactly what that team is all about. Honestly, this is what I thought could happen, but I didn't want to sound like an overconfident European. But it might be happening right now.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, that lineup there, there's not a lot of big stage experience.
No,
and they don't look like they're nervous in the slightest.
No, which is absolutely amazing. I'm trying to think, Silencep has been to a few large events. He's probably the most experienced player out of all of them in that regard. But we've got Xron, who's he's been to a Moscow LAN. He hasn't ever attended an international LAN, maybe a couple of homelands in CS in the past. clawz did come to last QuakeCon, but he didn't have a huge exposure, I'd say, to the big stage. He's the youngest player on the team, and one of the youngest players in the Quake World Championships at the moment at 19. And he's already, I would say he's got bravado, because he always is very, very careful to make sure he tries best in every game, but he feels that he has the potential to be one of the absolute best. And Latrommi, I can just reflect back on the TDM Prague LAN. He doesn't have any major tournament experience, and these guys, they're playing like it doesn't even matter at the moment. They're playing like they're at home.
And for you, this Team Liquid side, all-stars, they do have all the stage experience you could possibly want.
Completely.
But it's not working for them. What would you do differently? You identified in that last match that they had, they were having issues like in the retake, or getting past that first retake. So they'd be allowed to get the obelisk, they won't be allowed to get to the obelisk, but they won't be allowed to get out.
Yeah.
How do you change that?
That's difficult. I think that's the million-dollar question right there. They're just going to have to be stronger on blocking that entrance and trying to hold. A lot of teams, they get the soul and think, okay, I've immediately got to get back as soon as possible. You don't have to take the soul back straight away. You can play the map control. You can try and get the kills, force the spawns to happen on the other side of the map so that you can clear the way back to the base. I also think they might not necessarily have been ready for a Galena pick as well. I mean, this is something that we don't see, and I know that QWC, they're the type of people who have got a few surprises, a few things up their sleeves that they're probably going to be unraveling in this massive tournament.
What impact do you think that Galena pick had on what we just saw?
You have to watch out for something new. You've got to be aware of something that in practice you don't have to be careful of. You run on, usually you watch out for acid, or you watch out for the plasma trail. You're not really caring about totems. And if you walk around a corner, all of a sudden, 75 damage inflicted. And especially if you're a weak champion, a low health champion, and we saw an Anarchy, a Slash, and a Nyx, they don't have a huge health pool. They go in there and they take that damage, and all of a sudden, that's either going to kill the champion or it's going to put them on critically wounded status. And I think already there, having to be aware of that is almost trouble enough in itself.
And the map pick that we saw, would you have gone with that again, or what would you have done differently?
Well, that was Team Liquid's map pick just then. It's tough to tell. I think what we'll do now is we'll find out how they do on Ruins, which is QWC's map pick. And if it goes just as bad, then I'm really not sure there is some kind of cure. Sorry. And here in the round 1 of Ruins, which is QWC's map pick. And we will get things started at the moment, as the enemy has got the soul. Enemy being, I think that is Team Liquid, but immediately clawz is going to grab hold of it. We have got all the chaos happening in the middle. And again, just passing it to an opponent. I think he might regret doing that.
Yeah, no joy for him. And that soul is going to move away quickly. And it will be Team Liquid who will put those first points on the board. We're on board with Xron as he begins to wrap up a handful of frags and now goes looking for more and will... no, he won't. He and that quad will hit the deck as he tries to escape, shielding his teammate.
I've got Latrommi who loves just going with the shotgun. You can see the power that he holds with that gun at the moment. Is he going to be able to get a couple more frags with it, as QWC have already taken the soul back to their own point and are racking up those percentage points.
Yeah. History seems to be repeating itself here as QWC start very strongly once more.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to be defending, because it's not quite it's not the same layout as we've got on Lockbox. They might be defending a bit more from the middle rather than the point if they're going to be using a similar strategy. But let's find out. Let's be exposed to what their strategies are and see what happens. And we have got Xron down at the bottom. He's managing to get that armor, spawning every 30 seconds in that part of the map. You can also see it the respawn timer itself. And he is actually going to use that Ghost Walk right at the end. I don't know if that's going to be a panic play, but rapha comes back. Is the pressure going to keep mounting from the QWC players? Or is this seems like a really good hold, actually, from Team Liquid?
Yeah, Team Liquid have picked up 3 on the last 4 frags and have just been able to stop anyone getting in. But right as we say that, there has been a rogue player getting in. It was clawz who has got in, and Latrommi and Xron both pick up frags. rapha wins and DaHanG all out, and this should open up an opportunity for TZ.
Surely they just wiped the entire team just then. We've got to see that soul carry soon. I think it did get passed back, thrown back over to the top obelisk, and that is Silencep who's going to be trying to grab it. Has he got team support? Does not seem so. Looks like Team Liquid have found a counter.
And they do, and they have control once more, and points begin to rack up, and you can just see this Team Liquid side ready and waiting for incoming, and there it is. First player in, second player in from QWC, and frags will be abundant. It's Id who gets the Silencep down. Now here we go.
Oh, this is Ron. He just manages to get a hold of that protection itself. clawz has taken it back. It'd be great to see what Ron's doing with the protection. If he manages to get some health, it could really secure another 20, 30, 40% on the obelisk. And that's a dangerous amount to be giving away. There it is. Ron does have it still.
On board with Xron, and he will rain rockets down towards who is this. He's just clipped his shoes and then picked off rapha with the follow-up, and now looking for more. He's going to finish off number 2. That's wins. rapha wins both out by Xron. clawz, on the other hand, has a double frag of his own, and this is looking mighty fine for QWC.
And that protection now gone. He's going to have to just handle it with a normal stack of health. Manages to get that 80 damage down before dying, which is very important. Want to weaken those attackers as much as you can. Ghost Walk is available, but I don't know if he's going to want to use that on this attack. Yeah, well, he's going to die anyway.
There we go. It will be soul picked up there as it trades hands on top. clawz had it momentarily before he gets picked off, and DaHanG will go down with it as well. And on board we push, as DaHanG makes his way, Latrommi now makes his way through on top.
Yeah, I think we had Silencep as well and clawz following close behind. They just seem to be always stuck together on those attacks, just working as a unit. And he does actually want to use that injection, but it stops him from shooting, so he's going to go down anyway. Might regret it, but at least he'll build up his health cap with that Anarchy special ability.
So lost.
And here, defending from mid.
It is going to be rapha who will be escaping with that throw. Gets himself the frag on Xron, and now we'll look for teammates as he escapes out up towards, tosses the soul up towards the obelisk, and now is just going to turn around and nonchalantly pick off with the help of his teammate, I think was clawz, but then Latrommi with 2 big frags going in. DaHanG left to hold on, and it will be Latrommi doing a whole world of damage in there.
What? That's what's happening there. I think there was another rocket frag he managed to get just before dying. Pressure now, the soul right in the middle, and we have got Silencep doing a lot of damage, trying to get that acid spray out. Didn't hit rapha a whole lot, but he should be able to bring it back to the point. Now Latrommi back with quad, just taken Mega, knows that Nyx has just used Ghost Walk, so can run away. Needs to find the damage, he's only got 12 health. And clawz is just sliding back. Needs to watch out because there is his clone, his mirror image DaHanG with the slash himself making a massive play.
Yeah, and that soul is just being tossed left, right, and center at the moment. And quad is up as well and has now been collected. And it is rapha who will rejoin the action. And the soul is locked down in the obelisk for 2Z, and there's only 15% left needed for them. And Team Liquid need to get their shooting boots on.
They need to find a way to get in at the moment. You can see 3 of them on the point already, and they just focus fire, and he died so quickly just then. 5% to go here on round 1 of the second map. And wins, uses a Ghost Walk, trying to lay an attack. Are there going to be the rockets coming out? That is going to be the soul taken. Are they going to be able to throw it anyway? Just pass it over to a teammate. But there is Silencep blocking exit number 1. And now to go wrap around to go over towards the rocket launcher, and he seems to have maybe found an exit where there are no opponents, but right in front of him, that's Xron, I believe, playing on the Nyx. And he just can't stand the pressure. And that's it, you don't need to push out that far. You can stay on, if the opponents aren't on their own obelisk, you can hang around there until your teammates give you the green line to go in that right direction. And there we are, they've brought it back to 99%. We might see the first round go down now.
Oh, picked up quickly there. I think it's rapha who's in the mix of things. But if it doesn't happen now, it soon will, as that soul gets picked up once again. Raining in some shots from Wins now as they try to finish off the job.
Is that it?
And there it is.
Wow.
Now that last run from Wins there, I think really sums up the difficulty you have playing against 2Z. Wins tried to go out the first way, but Silencep was there waiting for him. So he went backwards, dove down, and still couldn't actually get out of there. He may have had, like, as the point you were making was, doesn't matter if you don't have it as long as your opponent isn't scoring point. Wins probably had the soul for 20 plus seconds or so, but he went nowhere with it and didn't move more than 5 seconds away from the enemy base.
Doesn't matter if you're holding it for 5 minutes and no one's getting points. You've just got to make sure that you get to 100 first. There's no time limit in order to do that. So we'll see if anything changes. Again, these are still early rounds within the tournament, and there's still a loser bracket for these guys, either of these teams to go to.
Well, let's see how this game evolves. Do Team Liquid have something in their pocket to change this game up?
I think that was DaHanG who managed to get the soul first. And we have got ID bringing it back with Sorlag. Now, is the attack going to come straight away? They need to find out the way to bend off against them. And already, clawz trying to lay down the attack, but they're not getting any of those early picks, which is actually a great first defense for Team Liquid. And they might even be able to get onto the power-up as well. Now, this fine for the soul to be given up. It depends what DaHanG can now do with this. Can he keep that pressure going? That is amazing from clawz. He just all of a sudden just locks out that choke point, and then suddenly DaHanG isn't able to follow at all. And that's very, very creative, on-the-fly decision-making from 2Z.
DaHanG in the end doing his job regardless as he gets out of there, and he was waiting for Latrommi as Latrommi eventually made it. DaHanG now tosses down that soul and goes hunting for more 2Z players, and he sees clawz being the first player to make his way in.
He's just got the gauntlet out.
Up on that B obelisk now, the soul slowly making its way there in the shape of rapha, who will get in, and eventually enough damage is done to those 2Z players. What did Team Liquid do right there?
They were a lot more patient on that occasion. They waited for the right moment, and rapha, again, using that movement, the speed of Anarchy, and again, being creative in his own right, getting that rocket jump across. So patience is definitely the answer for Team Liquid right now.
Maybe a light at the end of the tunnel for Team Liquid fans.
Could say that, but there's a long way to go still. They do have the edge here on the second round of Ruins, but there's plenty more game to be had. And Latrommi just coming back here, avoiding any pummel damage. He's taken the Mega and he's taken the armor, and his aim is absolutely mental. They still haven't done damage to him, and this could make the initial attack quite challenging. All right, DaHanG doing God's work there with the rockets.
We're on board with clawz as he does damage to, well, what was Wins, but then 3 frags out of the next 4 go to Team Liquid as they push in. And now Xron will try to do some damage with Wins, but Wins will come out on top in the end.
He did do good damage, as you say, which is already going to be weakening them when they try to make it back to their soul. ID 75 health, he's going to rocket jump into the LG of Latrommi. Have they managed to get the soul back? Not yet. Latrommi, he's taken it. He's got a teammate who's got the quad damage as well, so this should be fairly comfortable to bring it back to base.
He will do exactly that and has a teammate for company as well, and there are 3 players set up to defend, and this is going to be a very difficult retake for Team Liquid.
Definitely. Oh, there is a player on the side. Xron is going to be spotting him, and he just suicided, in fact. He wants to give the quad to a teammate. Did he manage to grab it? It might even still be sitting on the base. And let's see, as Latrommi makes it back into that side, that is going to be clawz who manages to grab hold of it. And the percentage points have now long passed what Team Liquid have got on that 25% still. May I remind people that Team Liquid have yet to win a round in this series. I don't know if they've got over 50% either on any of the...
No, they haven't. clawz now will pick up that frag onto DaHanG now. Rockets away, and rapha down by Latrommi as he goes hunting for more. And Team Liquid, when they get over towards that 2Z side, are going in 1s and 2s. There's never that combined defensive power that you can see from 2Z.
It's absolutely staggering as well of the aim, and I love how they use the abilities of the champions to complement how each other are playing and how those situations unravel. And again, to see the speed that they're playing at, making those decisions in real time is absolutely staggering. We've got Silencep here, going to be grabbing that Mega. We've got 20 seconds or so until the next power-up spawns, and I think down in the lower area, we might have some pressure now from the Soul-like of Silencep. He gets 2 frags there, make it 3. ID will shut him down in the end, but that's killed by Xron. That's a team wipe. And I believe QWC are going to be looking to get back now.
Away they go. clawz has someone just cleaning out the road for him ahead, and he will eventually put that down. He knows that there are 2 players on his 6, but he will escape, and they will set up kind of this defense just outside of that obelisk to look to go through. Nice frag coming in from DaHanG. Silencep himself has some kills, and he will be going back to try and stop DaHanG from getting into that obelisk. But rapha will pick him off with that rail.
Yeah, I think that is DaHanG, who still has got that protection. He's got the soul as well, and absolutely, if you've got both of them, you're making the right decision. Swing on by that lightning gun, only doing 1 damage at a time, but he's slowly starting to lose health. Although the protection should enable him to get a few more percentage points on the obelisk. But now it's back into the danger zone.
This is Team Liquid's best chance here. They're up to 40%. Yep. I don't think they've been this high in any of the previous maps. And DaHanG is holding on with all he's got. And 2Z just struggling, but you feel like 2Z have a plan. They're waiting to get together before making their assault.
They're basically waiting around corners at the moment and waiting for Latrommi or clawz to open up the defense of Team Liquid, and that's when they should all buy and work together, play at the same time, and make an attack on Obelisk B. And now clawz trying to make his own magic work. Xron now starting to support a little bit more as well, but I think they're going to have to maybe escape it. Oh, actually, they have successfully gotten the soul out. Can they bring it away and send it to middle? Not yet. Someone put it back onto it, and it is going to be Latrommi. He might need to think about passing it elsewhere, but he's found an opening. But there's a very important rail by ID to shut him down.
In vital escaping rail, you could say, to stop him from getting anywhere. And there's rapha, who will prevent that soul from going anywhere. Rapha, though, in the end, was dropped by clawz. DaHanG avenges, and that soul changes hands once again. It is on board with DaHanG now once more, as he will escape. Has very little in the way of health or armor, though. Tries to make his way up, and is picked off by Silencep, who's waiting there for him, and claims himself 2 frags.
we've got this Soulite getting multi-kills with the pummel. It's just crazy at the moment. Silencep killing himself, actually. We have got Xron, who did get hold of the quad damage, and he's about to be supporting the Soul carrier, which looks like his clawz at the moment.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job of just picking up two people who were exclusively focused on the Soul, and that allowed Soul carry away, and it allows him now to go looking for frags. He's got two from the left, two from the front, and he's doing damage to all of them. rapha down, second frag coming in now, or teammate will take it from him. It was DaHanG that goes down, and this will very soon be the game for 2Z.
They just kill themselves as well to pass that quad to a teammate. I think clawz grabbed it very briefly. We've got an attack here, 99% for 2Z. Last chance here for Team Liquid to make something work. And I think that was Silencep just getting in the way. The Soul being passed back to base from Xron, but it is DaHanG going to be slowing down progress.
DaHanG is being a nuisance, but still rely and wait for those final deaths to come in on Team Liquid as they push in right now. It's rapha who's charging in. It's Latrommi, clawz will all pick up frags, and that's 3 unanswered frag. You're at the 100%, and you have yourself a game. 2Z making it look too easy.
Yeah, you're not kidding right there. 66% though, Team Liquid got personal best going up versus 2Z. I've got to say, that was really, really convincing from 2Z. As we said earlier, they're on the big stage right now. They've got the pressure, they've got all eyes on them, and they are delivering. We've just got a stretch here from Xron. It's like, I'm waking up, and this is what I like to do in the morning. We'll move over to lunch in our next match.
If you had to pick a man of the match for you, who would it have been?
Oh, it's honestly, it's really tough to tell. I love how Xron adapted to a lot of the plays, but I gotta say, when he was looking on the kill feed, I saw Silencep. He seemed to be omnipresent, and as well making some of these gauntlet frags with this huge and slower beast, which is Soulite. I mean, again, great contribution to the team.
And your homework for Team Liquid, what would you tell them to go away and look at after this?
I mean, it's definitely tough to pin it down onto one thing. I think patience is one aspect that they could definitely work on, that they don't need to take it back as soon as possible. They're good at passing around the Soul to each other, but I think they just need to hold on and wait until they've actually cleared a route back to base. But there's definitely, that's not just the one thing, the one part of the formula that's going to